Welcome to The Snap with Alexis Perry and Sydney Jones.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome back to the Broncos Podcast Network and YouTube for another edition of The Snap. I'm Sydney Jones, joined as always by my good friend Alexis Perry, and we're so glad you're joining us today as we have a very fun and very special edition of The Snap planned for you all. So let's jump right into it. The NFL revealed its complete AFC and NFC rosters for this year's 2021 Pro Bowl, and there were two very familiar faces on the AFC roster, Justin Simmons and Bradley Chubb. So today's episode is going to be focused on celebrating them. We had the opportunity to check in with both Justin and Bradley on Monday, just a few minutes after they were selected, so we'll hear from them shortly.
Plus, we will hear from two women in their lives that know them best. Justin's wife, Taryn Simmons, and Bradley Chubb's mom, Stacy, will both join us to discuss their reactions to the news and just how proud they are of their guys. So let's just dive right in. Justin Simmons was left almost speechless when he found out the news on Monday. Let's take a listen.
Justin, first off, congratulations. How does it feel to be selected to your first career Pro Bowl?
Man, I don't even know if I have the words to completely kind of capture how exactly I feel. It's been, it's crazy just to even say it. Not that I don't think I'm deserving, but just, long life dreams and aspirations of becoming a Pro Bowler. You're acknowledged by the fans, by your peers that you play against, and by coaches, around the league. And I think that speaks, just big testaments to kind of your progress as a player. So, having a Pro Bowl nod on your resume is a pretty big accomplishment. So, looking for more for sure.
Well, you've certainly earned it, Justin. So far this season, you've had 4 interceptions, 89 total tackles, 1 fumble recovery. Does this season feel any different to you? How do you think you've grown since last season?
Yeah, honestly, this season probably been the most difficult one. And I think a lot of people would say that. I mean, even with the factors of the pandemic and just working through that, we've played games where we didn't have a quarterback. We've consistently had games where we've had corners shuffled in and out of the rotation. We've had constant injuries on the defensive side of the ball. And so as both Kareem and I as safeties, just being the quarterbacks of the defense, trying to adjust, trying to set ourselves up to be in the best position possible to win football games, has definitely been one of the most difficult ones to get through. And it's really a testament to the guys that I'm able to work around and be around, and my teammates and all of my coaches, because it's just a big testament to them to be able to get stuff like that done. And I know the record's not indicative of the work that we put in, but that's something that we definitely look on to improve in the future. But it's been tough for sure.
Yeah, and I think all of Broncos country felt that you were snubbed last year, especially after the second team All-Pro selection. Does being selected this year mean even more after that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, last year, obviously, felt like I put a pretty good resume out there for last year's season. And I think that showed with the, like you said, with the follow-up of making second team All-Pro. And I think, this year there's a lot of motivation into that, right? A lot of team-minded goals that I wanted to accomplish, but individually wanted to get back to an All-Pro nod, first team All-Pro, and obviously wanted to make a Pro Bowl. And so one of those objectives is down, and hopefully we'll be able to see what happens in the coming weeks with the All-Pro selection. But there's definitely a lot of motivation knowing that I thought I had a pretty strong season last year, and just didn't make the cut for the Pro Bowl.
Well, sadly, your first Pro Bowl won't be one that you can attend in person, since it will be taking place virtually on Madden. So are you any good at Madden, Justin? Do you play a lot?
Yeah, I was actually just talking about it with my wife, because I do play games a lot, and she knows that, but I'm not a big Madden guy. I know outside of like the first couple of years, having the chance to play myself without creating the player, was kind of just like the reasoning behind it. But other than that, I haven't truly gone into any depth of playing in Madden, more of a Call of Duty guy. So it'll be interesting to see how I do when the time comes around to playing.
Yeah. So you're saying you're going to practice within the next couple of weeks then, right?
I'm going to need to practice for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Well, Justin, really appreciate you taking the time to chat today, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And now joining us on the Snap is Justin Simmons' wife, Taryn Simmons. Taryn, first off, it is so nice to meet you finally. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This is so fun.
Yeah, well, first off, happy holidays. I know it's a really busy time of year and you're in the car. So are you Christmas shopping? Have you gotten your Christmas shopping done yet?
I think we're done with Christmas shopping. I'm not done getting groceries. So that's my next stop is the grocery store. I already know it's going to be a zoo. So wish me luck.
Yeah, it will be a zoo. So good luck. But, walk us through when you guys found out that Justin was selected to his first career Pro Bowl. Were you with him when he got the news?
So actually it was like 8:30 on Monday morning. His agent texted us in a group chat and Justin was still sleeping because that's their off day. And so I see the text now. I texted back. I'm like, I need to go wake him up right now. So I ran upstairs and he's like all groggy. He's like, what's going on? And I'm like, did you see the text from Todd? That's his agent. He's like, Todd who? I'm like, do you even know more than one Todd? I'm like, your agent, he texted you. He's like, no, why? What'd it say? I'm like, you look at it. And so he looked at it and he popped out of bed. He got so excited. And we were like, all day Monday, he's just like, I just can't believe it. I can't believe that I'm actually made the Pro Bowl. So it was really exciting.
Well, I'm sure it was an emotional day for Justin. Did you ever see him get emotional, or what was his reaction like throughout the day?
I would say I almost feel like it didn't, like I said, it was surreal. Like he just kept saying, I can't believe it's like actually real. I can't believe I actually made it. So I don't know if it didn't all hit him. It's like kind of still processing. Even yesterday, he was still like, did that happen? Did I really make the Pro Bowl? So yeah, I'm sure he had some emotions, but for the most part, he was just really excited and couldn't believe it.
Well, I'm sure there were a ton of people that he needed to pick up the phone and call on Monday. So who were some of the first that received a call from Justin?
I think it was, I don't know in what order, but he talked to both of his brothers and his mom and dad. So, I don't know what order it was, but it was all his immediate family that, his brother responded. He was like, I'm leaving work. I can't work. I'm too excited. Everyone was so excited. We all knew that it was a possibility, but I think after last year, it was like a bummer he didn't make it. So you don't want to get your hopes up too high. So it was like a relief, but also really exciting. And just knowing that Justin has wanted this for so many years, like this has just been a goal. So it was really exciting for all of us.
Yeah, I think Broncos country was pretty stunned that Justin didn't make it last year. Do you think that kind of motivated him even more heading into this season, trying to get that accolade?
Oh yeah, for sure. And he's not like, it wasn't like a chip on his shoulder in the way that he was like, oh, so-and-so didn't deserve it. I did. Like, I think you guys know that that's not how Justin is, but he was like, dang, I felt like I put up a good enough resume. But what we've learned is that certain positions on the football field, they don't usually make it like their first big season. It takes like stacking a few before you get in. And then once you're in, as long as you perform well, you stay in. That's kind of like how the Pro Bowl works. It's a little bit funky and kind of a popularity thing. So I think it was like one of his number one goals. He has like a list of goals before every season. They're always very lofty, but I think that's awesome that he does that. But that was one of his, he wanted to make the Pro Bowl. That's been on his list for ever since he became a starter. So it was definitely added motivation, but not in like a malicious way. I don't think he didn't feel like, oh, I can't believe so-and-so made it and I didn't. But yeah, it was exciting. It was a relief. I would say like, he's like, thank goodness I did it. So
Yes, we all know that Justin is not a malicious kind of guy. I mean, he was just named the Broncos Walter Payton Man of the Year designee a little over a week before he was elected to the Pro Bowl. I know both are such huge accomplishments for Justin, but which one do you think means the most to him?
I think for sure the Walter Payton Man of the Year. And it, especially being 2 years in a row, like we just could not believe that, because there's so many guys on the Broncos so deserving. I'm sure you guys know that. There are just a lot of really good guys that are doing a lot of really good things. So it was shocking, but also, I mean, I'm biased, but I think he deserves it. And so that was always something that almost like he didn't think he would ever get. Like that was a goal that he almost thought was too lofty to be like the nominee for a team. So, and just with this year, like rightfully so, he felt like he wasn't able to do very much. He's normally, I'm sure you guys know, but he, you know, every Monday or Tuesday or whatever day he's doing something. And so this year he hasn't really been able to. He does it. He's always on Zoom calls with like the Boys and Girls Club or Children's Hospital or wherever, but it's just been a hard year to like actually feel like you're making an impact. But so I think that's why he was like, I can't believe I did it again, because I feel like I didn't do enough. But he does give a lot of time and energy to the community, and that's like where his heart and soul is, and that's that's above football, I guess. So yeah, I think that one's probably the most meaningful for him, and still shocked about that too.
Well, speaking of which, you know, this year you guys launched the Justin Simmons Foundation. How difficult was it launching that foundation during a pandemic, and how are things going?
Yes, that was challenging. We had like been prepping kind of all last season. We had been talking to all sorts of people to get it in the works. There's a lot of stuff that goes into a nonprofit that like you have to file with the government and all. So it takes like months to get established. And so we kind of were doing that all last off season, not knowing there was going to be a pandemic. And so when we decided to launch this summer, we were like, you know what? We already did all the back work. Like we're still going to do it. We'll find ways. But it was a challenge because we had all of these ideas of things that we wanted to do, whether it's raising money or like distributing the money or, you know, having camps, or all of the ideas we had to scratch and start from square one. So it was a challenge, but still worth it. And like, we got to talk to our foundation manager, I think it was last week, about our initiative that we did for the holidays. And whenever we got to hear like from this program in this city and this program in this city, all these places that were like dear to our heart, it was like, we were like crying. We're like, we can't believe it. We got to do that all over just raising money on the internet from a lot of Broncos fans. And also I think he told us we raised money from like 28 states, which we're like, how the heck did we do? So it's still been really cool. It's been really rewarding, but we can't wait to like get in person with people. So
yeah, we can't wait either. And I know this year, typically families would be going to the Pro Bowl with the guys, and
yeah,
it's going to be virtually this year. How bummed are, you know, you and Lainey that you don't get to go? I think it was supposed to be in Vegas this year, so you guys don't get to go to Vegas.
Yes, I know, it's a bummer. I'm really bummed for him. Like I know like the actual Pro Bowl game is sometimes not a super good game, but the week leading up to it and all of this stuff they get to do, and just being around some of like the best players in the game. So I'm bummed for him not to get to do that, but it would have been a really fun vacation. I was joking with Justin last night saying like, thank goodness it's not in Hawaii this year, because then I would have been really bummed. Not that I don't love other places, but
or Orlando for Disney. And I think Justin's from Florida, right? So it would have been homecoming for him. Yeah,
so it's a bummer. And also they're playing Madden like virtually, and Justin's not a good sports video gamer. He plays video games a lot, but he does like Call of Duty type of games. So he's like, I'm gonna be so bad. So
I talked to Justin on Monday. I did an interview with him, and he said that too. And I was like, okay, we got to get practicing then within the next couple weeks.
You better go find the game and start playing. He was like, maybe one of my brothers can play for me. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think so. Yeah, but it's okay. It's still, I I mean, we hope that we're in it next year and can go, but if not, it's still a cool honor, and we'll just have to book our own trip to Disney or wherever we want to go.
Well, Taryn, we hope you guys get to go next year too, but we can't thank you enough for joining us on the Snap today. I know you're super busy, so we really appreciate you taking the time to jump on Zoom.
Well, thank you guys again for having me. And I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we get to see each other in person next year.
Fingers crossed for that, for sure. Well, now it's time to catch up with the Broncos' other Pro Bowler, outside linebacker Bradley Chubb. So let's go ahead and listen in to his full interview with Sydney Jones on Monday.
We are here with Pro Bowler Bradley Chubb. Bradley, first off, congratulations. How does it feel to be selected to your first career Pro Bowl? Has it sunk in yet?
Appreciate it. And yeah, it has kind of, but not really. I talked to my family about it and they were all ecstatic for me, and it kind of sunk in then. But when I'm just sitting here thinking, it still doesn't feel real, but I'm still so grateful for the opportunity, and it's a blessing for sure.
Yeah. How rewarding is it to get this type of national recognition after everything you've been through, tearing your ACL, your road to recovery, some of the doubts you had about getting back to full strength?
Yeah, it's huge because you think back to the times where, like, even the scrimmage we had at the beginning of the season where I didn't know if I was going to be 100% to go, and for the first game, and I was down myself and down my abilities and all that. Just to get this accolade is huge, because now I know that I'm good. Now I know that I could go out there and play with the best of them. So, I mean, it's huge, and it means the world to me.
Well, no doubt you earned it. So far this season, you've had 7.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 42 total tackles. Bradley, how much, in your opinion, do you think your game has grown this season?
I feel like it's just grown week in and week out. As the season progressed, I started to gain confidence, not only in myself, but like in my teammates, started to become more of a vocal leader and put that energy into those guys. And I feel like it started to pay off. And I feel like I've grown on the field as like more that vocal leader, like I said, and that leader by example. So I've been just trying to do everything I can to help this team win and help this organization move forward. And just like I said, to get this honor while in the midst of doing all this, in the midst of having a tough season, is just huge.
Yeah. Well, sadly, your first Pro Bowl won't be anything that you, I'm sure, pictured your entire life. It's going to be taking place virtually on Madden this season. So I have to ask, what is your Madden game looking like? Are you good?
I'm getting better. I've been getting better. I wasn't good at all to start, but I've joined this franchise, and I had a franchise with my brother as well that I was getting better at, and starting to know how to call plays. And then I've been getting my butt whooped for too long when it comes to Madden, so I decided I wanted to fight back now.
Has quarantine helped you then this year? No, has 2020 helped?
100%. During that rehab process, I would go to rehab, get done with meetings, and get right on Madden. So I was doing that for a good 3 or 4 months straight.
Well, we look forward to seeing you play virtually. Bradley, I'm super pumped for you. Congrats again. And thanks for taking the time to chat today.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, joining us here on the Snap is Bradley's mom, Stacy Chubb. Stacy, you've had a couple days to digest the news now. How excited are you for Bradley? He is a 2021 Pro Bowler.
I have never been more proud of him and more excited for him than I am now, and mostly because of what he went through last season with his injury and working his way back, and his desire to hit the ground running and contribute to his team at a high level, and at the expectation that his teammates and the Broncos fans have for him. So, just to see him work through all of that and attain this recognition, I am just incredibly excited.
Well, when did you first hear the news? When did Bradley call you?
Yes, he called me and my husband, and he let us know that he had just gotten a call from the coach, but that we couldn't share it yet. So it would be announced later that day, but he wanted to let us know. And he was trying to be a little cool about it, but we were incredibly excited. But of course, I was in my office, so I had to hold it together so I wouldn't spill the beans.
So your initial reaction was like, keep calm, because no one can find out. So when you got home, is that when you and your husband just, started freaking out for him?
Well, I'll tell you. So after I communicated with Bradley, I called my husband. I was like, "Oh, can you believe it?" So it didn't take when I got home. But I knew I had that initial reaction with my husband, and then just put it in the back of my mind until it became official. And I mean, even before then, I didn't tell my parents, my siblings. I didn't tell anybody because I wanted people to have the benefit of just the excitement of the announcement. So once we did, I called Bradley and just let him know how incredibly proud and excited I was. And he knows I'm a cheerleader from high school, so I have all of the extra, excitement that goes along with that. But yeah, I mean, it was amazing.
What about Bradley's dad? How excited was he when he heard the news?
So excited. I mean, I saw Bradley's emotional interview, and I would say his dad was emotional as well, even before that interview. Like he just kept saying, "I'm just so happy for him. I'm just so happy for him." Because, as parents, you see the work and you see the anguish and the doubt, the hope, all of that. And just to see it come full circle, I think his dad was really moved as well.
Yeah, that interview that he did later with the press, I was sitting on, the other side of it, being the press, and seeing how emotional he got. I literally had to walk away because I started getting teary-eyed too.
Well, I know every young football player dreams of making it to the NFL and being selected to the Pro Bowl. So as a mom, how does it feel to know that your son has made it?
It's almost surreal sometimes, particularly there are moments like the draft itself. That was a moment that was surreal to me. And I'm really happy in 2018 we got to have the full experience. I know those young men didn't get to do that in 2020 because that experience, the NFL did a really good job making it feel special. So that was one. And then when we're in Denver and we're with him, Bradley is just Bradley, people recognize him for being a Broncos player when we go out or go to the mall, but, he never feels like it's not him. He always feels like him to me. But when I see him in his element, and it reminds me that to a lot of kids, they look up to him, a lot of fans, celebrate him and maybe not when he doesn't perform to their standards at every given time. But as a mother, just seeing how well he handles it and never, gets cocky or arrogant or treats it like this is what I'm entitled to. I feel and sense gratitude with him all the time. And, we talk before every game. We pray together before every game. And, of course, we want to win. We want the Broncos to win every single time. We want Bradley to have as many sacks every single time. But what we pray for is that, he does his best and he delivers for his team at the best of his ability in the moment. And hopefully that results in a win. Hopefully that results in good stats. But, it's all about bringing his best every time. And I think he recognizes that it's a gift, and he doesn't take it for granted, and certainly we don't either.
Well, Stacey, I know Broncos country is so excited for Bradley, as are we. We truly can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us today.
All right. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Sadly, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of The Snap. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we hope you'll meet us right back here next Wednesday for another edition. And we hope you all enjoy a safe and healthy holiday with your friends and family.
Happy holidays, Broncos country.